Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
Thomas Russell, the CEO of Verodat, joins us now to explain why successful AI implementation within an organisation hinges on its data being AI ready. Thomas, Verodat recently launched a platform which will help businesses to implement AI within their organisations. But where does Ireland now find itself in terms of AI adoption by businesses?
Hi, Karl. A pleasure to be on your show. I think that's a good question. I think the reality is that Ireland is not too far behind and not yet leading the way. I was over in San Francisco there about 2 weeks ago, and I can see what's coming in terms of opportunities. But I'm glad to say a lot of companies are focusing on getting their data right, getting organised, and at least open to the conversation to see what AI can do for them.
From your insights into that event in San Francisco, what is coming down the track in terms of AI?
I suppose a lot of capabilities that are now going to be easy to use, right? So the one thing that I think one exciting thing about AI, right, is that AI is what we call a good tech, and good tech is tech that's easy to use and that saves you time. And the real benefit of AI then is when you can put that to work with your own data and in your own context. And that's the piece we're seeing a bit of frustration emerge in the market around, which is people can feel the benefits of what AI could potentially do for them. But especially in businesses, they're kind of struggling to figure out, well, how do I get my data to this AI? How to ensure it's secure? How does all this landscape work? And how do I make sure that all this kind of cool stuff I see it do, it could potentially do for our business, how do I get that working?
I have no doubt there is a little bit of frustration in the market in relation to those areas that you just covered. But how can businesses actually get their data AI ready?
I think you need to look at it in reverse a little bit, which is to say, now that we have AI available to us, what does AI need in order to be successful? And AI is very, I suppose, similar. It's learned a lot from kind of how people behave. So it's not a bad starting point to say, if I was a data analyst and I wanted to use data, what would I need to know? So when we talk about AI-ready data, we talk about making sure that the AI has access to very good context on the information that it's looking at. So context meaning, really clear definition of what the data is, how it relates to each other, all kind of common questions you might ask if you looked at data yourself. There's a second piece of the puzzle then, which is we would look at the data and say, actually, is this data up to date or not? So imagine when you open a workbook and you look at it, and you can have all the analysis you need, but if you don't know if that data behind that is, this month or last month or the month before data, you can't really know exactly what you're looking at. So we call that supply status, and that's knowing the supply status of your data effectively. And making that available to an AI is really, really valuable because it allows it to put that information into a timeline. And there's lots of knock-on benefits to that. I won't go into them now, but it does present a lot of opportunity. And then kind of the final piece we would say is that in using AI, you really have to use, and you're using your own data and you're making decisions. This property called attribution is super important, right? And attribution is where you can communicate how the decisions have been made by the AI and actually repeat them consistently. And that can prove a challenge, and I think a lot of people struggle with that when they look at AI because right now you get a lot of noise from AI. If you ask it questions, it will always give you an answer. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. But there is an approach to how you can consume AI from an analytics point of view, which uses AI for what it's good for and also ensures that you can get reliable, consistent results. And this is really important, EU regulation. That's why all this stuff is being put in place. It's really important that you can operate in that way.
And how does Verodat's platform actually help businesses?
Okay, so where we fit in the puzzle is we are working a lot with AI and various AI tools and services that are out there, but we're focused on that piece of getting your own data, as we described, AI ready, right? The approach there for data management that exists at the moment has largely emerged from what I call deep tech. So this is kind of tech companies with a very strong, big data analytics team, very big, complicated software, a lot of complexity actually to get stuff working from a data operations perspective. Whereas we kind of reinvented that story and looked for a pattern. And when you look at it from an AI-ready perspective, we've come up with a really lean approach that companies can use. And then we put that approach to work using our platform called Verodat. So we've made it really easy for companies to organize their data into that AI-ready format, which then opens up this whole new world of possibilities for what they can do.
And describe the type of clients that you're currently working with.
Okay, so data is a horizontal problem, right? And what we mean by that is it cuts across nearly all industries have some sort of data problem or need. And for us, we've worked across multiple industries from finance to insurance to aircraft leasing to construction, media, real estate. And all of these obviously have data within their folds, structured data in most cases, that is really valuable, and if they could get a better understanding of it, would make a significant difference.
Now, the platform itself was launched at the Builder Developer event in San Francisco that you attended recently. What was the feedback at the event?
Actually, very positive. We were very excited by it. I think the event that we were at, it was clear that data is a big problem in the room and a clear challenge. And there's a lot of deep tech in those conversations, right? We're in the heart of it in San Francisco. And these guys are really focusing on solving the big problems that surround this. But there was this frustration we spoke about at the top of the call. That is evidenced globally. Companies and enterprises are struggling to put the data in a format that they can actually use from an AI perspective. I do feel like what we proposed really resonated with that audience and with the builders as well, right? So there's a little piece here, which is, if you are a builder of an AI solution, you got to get that solution to market. And that's really why we were in San Francisco, was to meet that audience and provide a bridge for them in how they can get to customers. Because in their challenge of getting to market, they do need to get this AI-ready data from the customer. And because our platform accelerates that so quickly, it means their tooling can get to that customer faster.
For anyone listening this morning that's in business, that is sitting on the fence at this moment in time with regard to AI implementation in their own business, what would you say to them?
I think AI, right, the AI is such a big disruptor. And I think it's important that people, I suppose, resonate with that. When you create a technology that pretty much can be used by anybody, you create this new era effectively. And the pace at which it's moving at is a much faster pace than years in the past, I guess. I think we have an analogy here in the office, which is, you're at the bus stop and you're waiting for the AI bus and you're going to go, will I get on this one or will I get on the next one? And I suppose our view is that if you take the second bus, you're going to be late to the disco. So you're really going to miss some of the opportunity. And in kind of a material way, the advantage is going to be hard to recover.
So for businesses that engage with the Verodat platform to have their data AI ready, what's the next step involved in AI implementation at that point?
Well, we're very focused on making sure it can be adopted, right? And to be adopted, it's about ensuring you're putting it into tools that people are familiar with already. So we've already seen Microsoft who've deployed their Copilot solution across their ecosystem. When you combine Microsoft's Copilot in Excel specifically with our AI-ready data, you can significantly improve your report management within your business. And that's kind of an easy win. It doesn't require additional training, and it's kind of like superpowering what you have at the moment from a skill set within your business. Having that AI-ready data, having Microsoft's Copilot at your fingertips, combining those two presents a very strong opportunity, a quick win, basically. And then the next part of that story, we have a pathway that we take our customers through. They can start to use chat interfaces like GPT, like LLMs, in a very secure, very reliable, very regulatory controlled way to now open that avenue of being able to talk to your data, generate summaries of your information that are useful, that are practical, that are timely, and that presents kind of a great opportunity for companies as well.
Can you give us any case study examples of clients that you've worked with to date?
Okay, so I think there's one which I like, which relates to a construction firm. And I think it's nice because it's a little bit, people don't think digital and data when you think about a construction context, right? So in this enterprise, they have obviously got their own accounting package. They've got time tracking for their staff. They've got HR records and all of that context, right? Now, what we're able to do is, and this is about making sure you have the information when you need it at the right point. We ensure that data is AI ready, so we get it into the right format and structure, as explained earlier on. And then what we're able to do is to generate a nice summary report on any given project at any given point in time, and do that in a kind of natural language way that's accessible to the CEO of that organization effectively. So the day in the life of that CEO then is much around moving around, visiting projects and going to various sites. An interesting thing that we've been able to do is that when he arrives at a building construction site, because they have geolocation on their time tracking system, not a new thing, that is around a lot, it triggers the generation of this report. And that report gets emailed to that CEO as he sits in his car just outside the site, and it also gets presented as an audio file. So he can sit in his car and get an audio breakdown on the state of the job that he's about to embark on, and get updates on the staff who are on site, the named customers, potentially be aware that it's one of his staff's birthdays, one of the team needs health and safety training, to remind him of that in 2 or 3 weeks' time. But that is, the right data, the right information to create an understanding so that as the CEO goes into the meeting and on site, he's up to date on what's happening. And we can do that with confidence because we've managed the data through Verodat, and it presents this kind of new way of working.
We spoke a number of times throughout the interview about the importance of speed to market and that first mover advantage. Speed is definitely the currency as well when it comes to you growing this business. So what have you planned over the next 12 months for Verodat?
Look, we're on a very exciting journey. We've just come back from San Francisco. We've been building out a network. We've just launched our brand in Verodat. We're very focused on being very practical for customers and making sure that they can get active quickly. We're a big advocate of customers telling our story. So we're building that over the next number of months. We're very close with Enterprise Ireland, working with their networks across the UK and the US. We do have clients outside of Ireland as well. So our current customers are also onboarding a lot of these new features, and we would see them hopefully echoing our story and supporting our growth. So we're looking at a very exciting kind of 12 months ahead for us.
And with backing from Enterprise Ireland, is the US going to be your primary territory for this platform?
I think it's going to be a key stakeholder. And the reason I would say that is that they push the boundaries in terms of the innovation and the tooling that's coming through. But I think we're keen to be the company that's bringing what's in the US to the UK, to Ireland, to the EU markets, and doing that in a safe and secure way. So we'll have very strong relations with the US, which we have at the moment, build our communities and all that kind of stuff. And of course, that will drive growth for us in the local markets in the US as those builders bring our product to market there as well. But I think we will be focusing across those three markets, really UK, Ireland and the US.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Thomas Russell from Verodat, and we look forward to watching the company's upward growth trajectory over the coming years.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.